Hello everyone, it's Sloth here today with Golgari back. And this is Golgari token deck that is very strictly on point with the strategy that we will of course talk about, because that's what we do. We explain things on this channel to make you a better gamer. So, what I really like about this version of the deck, it has a really precise way of what it's going to do and how it does this. So you have very strict gameplay. It's not really your control deck that, just plays 20, 30 turns and just wants to bore enemy to death. The thing we love, of course, but it's something that has exactly the game plan. So our game plan, we want to ramp with the Ghast, with the Innkeeper, with the Dispute. We want to, on the way, sweep with the Meathook Massacre if that's the matchup, and if not, we want to skip the 3-drop. We still have some of them, and they are pretty decent, but the main idea is playing Esika's Chariot or Binding. Bindings let us ramp even more into our endgame, and Esika's Chariot is just main card for the deck. This is basically the all-star that glues everything else together, because it can copy the tokens, and the whole deck is about tokens. It also creates tokens. So for example, you will see in one of the games that we can sacrifice the token from the tracker at the end step and still attack for 4. And attacking for 2 or 4 is a big difference, because this creates really a lot of pressure. I really do like this card. It has some glaring weaknesses, of course, but generally it's a really decent card. And with Esika's Chariot we can provide the tokens. So going further, the meat of the deck, the payoff, the reason we are all doing this, Wrenn and Seven and Storm the Festival. This is basically why we have so many 4 and 5 drops, because we want to hit them with Storm the Festival. So we have basically 12 cards that we can hit that are amazing hits, and trackers are decent hits, so it's still okay if you hit the tracker. So, with Wrenn, of course you make the -3, then you have a huge 3 fork, and you can already attack with Esika because it is a 4-drop and this is a 5-drop. So, while you play the Wrenn, you can already start attacking with Esika's Chariot. What's best? You can use the 3 fork token to crew the Chariot, so you actually attack for 8 on turn 5. And this is insane because it also creates another token and the value is just off the charts. Other fun uses, you can copy the tracker investigate crew tokens, because it's also a token, and in some situations when you don't have cards in the hand, this is better than the cat. If you have 10 mana lying over and you don't have anything to play, you just have 8 mana and 1 additional card, and it's great. So this is the main thing. You want to storm the festival into Lolth or Wrenn, and possibly the Chariot. This is Wrenn and Chariot is the perfect combo that you want to hit. So for 6 mana, you at least have 12/12 and the cats and chariots, right? Or at least turn after you attack. So that's really high value, and this is how we play around. Other than this, we are just playing a lot of value packed into small cards. So Tracker is basically 2/1 because you get to draw a card at some point, and it's 4/3. It very often dies, but very often it dies after blocking something, so you go 2/1 and you still have the crew. So this is a lot of value packed into one card. Innkeeper is really nice, the life gain really helps, and the ramp is amazing. And don't forget, you can deadly dispute either the Innkeeper or the treasure from the Innkeeper. So sometimes you play Innkeeper, they kill it, so you don't have anything to sacrifice, and you still cast deadly dispute and you get back the treasure from the effect of this card. So a lot of going on for this deck, and it's really precise in what it's going to do. We of course have some land base as always, Lair of the Hydra. Probably you can play 2 as well. I think you can play 2, but we went for the Hives just for the graveyard hate, because of the Tenacious Underdog and all this stuff. And really, Bindings is a huge removal for the deck. You can already notice probably that the deck does not run a lot of removal. We basically have 4 Ghast for small creatures. We have 4 Bindings for everything else, including Planewalkers, which are a problem for this deck. And Meathook Massacre to just clear the board. The synergy between Ghast, Deadly Dispute, and Innkeeper really help with the Meathook Massacre. That's definitely a lot of ramp to sweep this board. And you need it, again, especially if you are on the draw. Like, I'm feeling that I'm most likely every game on the draw. So definitely you need the ramp for, just for the big Meathook to keep up with the enemy counters. When enemy plays Raiju and Aspirants and all this crap, they can put a lot of toughness every single turn, and you need to sometimes ramp more than 1 mana a turn to keep up. So that's the idea. And let's talk about the results, because while the deck looks really sweet, and I think this is a really fun and amazing deck list, like in my games I really struggled on the ladder right now. It seems to suffer a lot from lack of removal, and for some reason you can very often I don't know, with the lands, with the creatures, because like it has a lot of moving parts. You need the Ghast to Deadly Dispute or Innkeeper. It's still 8 cards, so I think I didn't have the best draws, because that seems like decent, the normal mono-black control thing, right? But I very often whiffed on the Deadly Dispute early game. Tracker is like a really solid card overall, but then you need to hit one of your bigger drops. So very often we didn't draw lands, very often we couldn't storm the festival, and one of the big things about storm the festival decks, this is something I do not love as a control player myself, because storm the festival is just so random. It's definition of random. So while you can get 10 mana of value in the optimal case when you hit Wrenn and Lolth, in reality, very often you whiff. So, at least in my experience, this is just a risky card. But when you hit, like for example, Binding and Wrenn, and you answer enemy Planewalker and you get yours and you make the token, you just feel like the top of the world. But when you whiff and hit 2 lands or something with this, it just doesn't feel great. So this is something to keep in mind. If you are thinking about playing this deck is very random. So you will have some perfect games when everything just goes really nicely and you just dominate. You will also have some games where you just miss one of the parts of the equation, and then the deck doesn't feel extremely strong. In my review, it's definitely recommended for the ladder if you want to lower your rank. So I didn't have good results with this deck. It definitely went quite strongly below 50%. So I feel that against such aggressive ladder, you just need a lot of removal, and the decks that do not have removal in some way, or some insane huge creatures, like we are playing with Planewalkers and they need the board. So our big creatures are basically Tracker and Chariot. And it's really hard to compete against like double Aspirant Raiju, putting 3 counters a turn and just smorking your face. So this deck is definitely a strong one, but not sure if the current meta allows it too much. So if you are thinking about laddering, well, that's your decision, and it definitely can go both ways, but definitely a very interesting deck. And what I really like about this deck, it has a clear game plan, it knows what it needs to do, and it does it in the most efficient way. So if you like Storm the Festival decks, this is probably one of the best ways to go around it. So that's my review, that's my impressions. If you like these decks, if you like control decks, if you like what we are doing on this channel, do not forget to subscribe. It always really helps. It's the main thing that we need right now, the subscriber count, because I feel that all around you guys are pretty happy with what we are doing, and I'm really grateful for it. And I'm doing my best as well. So with that being said, let's go into the games, and I hope you will enjoy those. Alright, so as usually on the draw, however, we have very interesting ramp. And I do like bindings, so we will see. With Storm the Festival we should hit something. We have quite a lot of lands. Maybe we leave this as a cyclone. First of all, let's start with the Ghast. We will make this decision later. Beholder is so happy. He owns a guild, you know. A lot of Shambling. Okay, it seems this is shaping to be one of the most ridiculous games ever. 5 Ghasts, 2 turns. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. I don't even know if we want to trade or how we want to trade it. I have zero idea. Okay. Yeah, I will definitely cycle. Will I? Yeah, I think so. Pretty hard choice, because we might whiff on lands for like 3 turns and then we are in trouble. But we have Wrenn. It's good that we have Ghast against Underdog. Problem is that he can start casting it from the next turn onwards. He should attack. I will cycle it. We are very likely to draw another land in next 3 turns. Or not. Or not. We need green definitely here. Esika's Chariot is really good. He really wants Underdog dead. We don't have good targets, but this gives us lands for Wrenn. It is a bit slow though. I think that we will end with Esika's Chariot. I don't want to kill this because it gives him so much card draw, and right now that's what he needs. So no, let's go like this. This will force something from someone. Quality content. Enemy has Hive. That's a bit scary. Good. It's late enough that he cannot use science or anything like this. Let's see the attacks. Attacks are what I'm interested. Obviously we are winning in the longer game, so he should be aggressive, but he isn't. Oh yes. Oh yes. Do we do it now though? It seems like insane value. It really does. So if we attack, he blocks with the Eye Twitch, but we can still go for Meathook for 2. Yeah, so there's no really point. Next turn he uses Underdog if we sweep. But then he has no board and we can use Wrenn. It seems pretty good. I will do it. This can be Lolth. What happens if that's Lolth? Are we in trouble? Like, so far I guess we are okay. Oh man, so hard. So actually hard. This is my attack. That's what I decided on. Because I think he wants to trade the Eye Twitch so badly that he will give me the treasure. And it seems to be correct. And thanks to his greed, his infinite greed, we can cast our Planewalker and now we can hit the lands. Yeah, he will get 1 land, but believe me, we will get more. We will get more, and now our friend is really pressured to do something. Of course we missed on the Esika's Chariot token, but I think it's just more important. We could play another Ghast. Honestly, in this board state, I think Ghast is better. Because he needs to do something about the Planewalker. Like, Hero's Downfall that nobody ever plays. This can be one of the answers, definitely. Alright, so that's a bit of a blowout. Not gonna lie, but still we are in good spot. Enemy is misplaying it hard in my opinion. He should sacrifice Underdog long time ago and keep drawing cards with it. Yeah, basically what he's doing here, just in a worse case. Alright, so we block with Esika's Chariot, then we don't lose anything, or we block with the Ghasts. I think we block with the Ghast. This gives us additional mana so we can storm the festival next turn. Enemy is playing perfectly for us. Like, he's giving us all the edge that we ever need. So he got 1 card, but we'll storm the festival. My turn. That's another one. That's also pretty interesting. But I think it is storm the festival. This is what our deck is about, right? Wow. Wow. That's... Wrenn was so much better. Oh man, this is part I don't like about the Storm the Festival. But we still can ramp it, so it's not as bad as it looks. Do we go aggressive? Enemy cannot double Tenacious Underdog, so now we can. Let's go double cat. We attack with this one, and the rest is left for defense. We get some life back. We probably force blocks. Like, enemy has one card, so it's not great for him. I guess he can draw a land and then double Underdog with all the mana. But I do not feel that that's good for him. Especially he's at... Well, he will be pressured. He's at 20, but he will be pressured quite a lot. Okay, and he has chosen this. Interesting. So no treasure and no double underdog. If he attacks for the... Okay, okay. If he attacked with the treasure, we wouldn't block, just to not give it to him. Like, we cannot make the same mistakes he did. And honestly, I know I'm not playing Meathook very quickly, but our board situation was okay. So we aren't really extremely pressured to do anything. And this is a very important card for all the matchups. I really miss the plus and minus thing with the life. That's a lot of life. But other than this, we are okay. Alright, one storm gone. If we go for 3, you will lack 1 mana. That's not great. I really want Wrenn. We don't really have important cards in the graveyard. Not at the moment. However, enemy might use underdogs. Binding. We could binding on Henrika. And then Wrenn. Nah, we don't have enough mana. I really want Wrenn in the board with something. If he double blocks, we can Meathook for 1. Alright, alright. We miss a bit of a damage, but I do feel that's okay. And he thinks that we did it just to get... Okay, okay, that's fine. Let's see how he plays. Okay, that was actually pretty smart, because we still need to Meathook for 3. Okay. Interesting. So right, Meathooking for 2 would do the job. Because we can -2, but then we miss the treasure, so it's the same basically. Oh man, so short on mana. Guess we go for this then. So that was a bit of a gamble. I hope enemy will block differently. That was smart blocks from him. But still, we will do what... Oh, right, we still need to discard. We still need to discard. Is it worth it? It's probably not. So we can do it later. Alright, so I wanted to minus it, so it dies, but then it's still worth because it's targeted. And it's not worth Meathook or Wrenn because they both are amazing cards. Yeah, it's better to block. And he's at 13. Or 14, actually. We will deadly dispute, and this turn we Meathook, and hopefully we can Wrenn as well, which will be pretty huge. And let's block. We definitely want to. Oh my god, I forgot. Oh man, that was such a blunder. Man, I need to focus. I'm totally not focused right now. I should just sacrifice it to the lead dispute. So we basically miss 1 card, 1 damage, because this would die to Meathook and deal 1 extra damage. But you know what, it's still fine. Bro, I know you have 1 card in the hand, but some people have more. And do we go for this one? I don't think so. So we Meathook for 3. Yeah, even just to get the life gain from the underdogs. And we have exactly 5 mana for Wrenn. And I think that's okay. I think that's what we need. We also get some mana from binding, but it's a bit slower. But the dispute will be useful at some point. Esika's Chariot is a decent draw. There's argument to take Forest, and when you draw them, they are sackable. But I don't think that's the situation. Alright, and finally, we can use both Wrenn and Staff. He can do double underdog and he really wants to. So let's make sure that we hit the big creature. Like, he needs to pay 4 life a turn to do it. That's a lot. And now we are pressuring 8 back. So he can definitely kill Wrenn. But if he does it, he is in huge damage. Like, we can deal 11 right now. Straight from the board. And the Meathook is on our side. Shakedown heavy. Interesting play. And he went for Meathook for 0. Okay, I can get this part. Very useful in his situation. Now still we have an 8-8. And we have Death Touch. I guess. Let's go for the plus. We have quite a bit cards still. Okay, and we hit a lot of lands, which is okay. That will translate to very nice festival at some point. Okay, our creature is pretty big. So, let's attack. We can attack for 12. Do we go for it? I think we do. This will force his block most likely. Maybe he has removal, but we will see. Also we start working on the underdogs, so next turn we can hopefully get rid of both. Oh, that's an interesting play. So he seems to want to kill us next turn. But with Esika's Chariot, I'm not sure if he will be able to. Now you need to go through 2 cats, and they can actually block the heavy, and we can give him the card in the worst case, but how are you supposed to kill us? No. You are not drawing cards. You are at 2 HP with no blockers, and you need to sweep with Meathook. But then, if you Meathook, then you die. Enemy, like, I really feel the enemy completely mishandled this game from the start to the end. Like, his decisions were not correct. At start, he was the aggressive deck because he had no value. So he should kill underdog very quickly and then start drawing with it. He did it like 4 turns too late or something. Alright, going first. Let's try this one. We have double Dali dispute, but we do not have anything to sacrifice, but I'm sure at some point we will rectify this one. We have to, right? We definitely have to. So, if we draw like something like Innkeeper, that's extremely good, and then we can go full crazy. Well, so far we didn't get it. But we have Meathook, and I'm hopeful. At some point we have to draw a creature, right? Like, we only have lands and creatures in the deck basically, so we need to draw something. I'm pretty sure we have to. Man, this is getting weird. Alright, so no creatures, and even on the play we cannot keep up with the initiates so far. So Cavalier, of course. No. I think I will play the Meathook if there's nothing like pumping the initiates. Yeah, we are in the situation when we don't really have a choice. Let's go for green. We need generally a bit more green. Let's sweep at least this part while we can handle it. Because it seems that we are just drawing 5 drops, and I don't know. I don't think there's any bad draw next turn. Like, the third Wrenn and Storm the Festival are the only bad draws in the deck, I think. Land is amazing. Creature is amazing. Maybe another Meathook is bad. Oh, yeah, so Meathook, Storm the Festival, and Wrenn. Let's see if we can draw, because like today draws were abysmal, like those were one of the worst draws I have ever in Magic. So let's see how it goes. On the bright side, enemy also doesn't seem to have great draw. Innkeeper. You know what? I will take it. It's a decent draw. And I will actually use the treasure just to hit this freaking land. Because Innkeeper is important because of the live game. So I would much rather force him to remove it. Yeah, that's fine. It also protects from the sweeper, which is pretty insane. And finally, this is how the deck is supposed to work. Nice. Pretty darn nice. So we can go for Meathook. And I think we do. Because it also gives us the treasure. We take this one. That's pretty perfect overall. And we still have the Deadly Dispute and Bindings and all this great stuff. Especially like Deadly Dispute. And now, sure. And the base idea is that now we can start going 1 for 1, because we are pretty ahead in everything. Sure, 1 damage. Oh no, it has to be something else. So we do not block. It's 4 damage, but this will translate to life at some point in the game. But right now it gives more when we have it. Now we need to hit the Storm the Festival. Shambling Ghast is okay. It's okay. I will go for black this turn. And let's go for the Binding. And let's go for Wrenn. And I think this will close the game. Like, the Tree Folk is just so huge here that I do not think that he can, like, really race against this one. And we can make another one if we want. Yeah, so that was a bit of a clutch from both sides, but we finally get to draw a creature, and you can see that when we unleash all the Deadly Disputes, it fixes everything. Alright, we are going as always second. But we have Shambling Ghast, we have Deadly Dispute into Chariot, so we are feeling pretty well. On the play, this would be perfect hand. But we are not on the play. And that's a lot of Chariots. Shuffler, what are you doing? 2 lands, 3 Chariots. We play 25 lands, we play 4 Chariots. Seems reasonable. Seems definitely reasonable. Okay, but still, we have really good opening. Like, double Storm, 3 Chariots and 2 lands. What are we doing it? Oh well, Shuffler. Shuffler went crazy on this game. Okay, that's a 4-drop. And he will try to make a pack leader better. And unfortunately, we need to prevent this situation. Man, I would really prefer to kill the thing. We have to hit the land, right? There is no chance in the world that we do not hit the land. No chance. 11 cards. 2 lands. Are you seeing this? And that's a 4th Chariot. 4 Chariots, 2 lands, 12 cards. Shuffler is really fine. Nothing wrong with this. Like, we drew 1/5 of the deck, so that's 5 lands on statistical, like, measures. Like, sure, I will cast my 1-drop again. Oh my god. This is getting ridiculous. How the hell can Shuffler work like this? Are you seeing this even? And double Storm the Festival, of course. The same amount as the lands. I'm really happy that the enemy is attacking us, because that seems to be the only way we can ever get a land. By the way, having a treasure as your mana base is just strictly horrible. Oh man, what the hell are we playing against? Like, enemies playing 5 drops beat 13 cards, 2 lands. There's no even sense to play this out. The Shuffler decided that the game will be over. Alright, we are going first. with... and I hate double tap land. This is actually the problem. Because everything else is perfectly on curve. I really want... oh man, that hurts, and we need to draw land. Please, don't make me mana screwed again. Okay, thank you, game. Thank you for your mercy. I will play the Innkeeper, because we want the Chariot next turn so badly. That's perfect. So we traded card for card, and we still got the ram that we wanted. I'm happy. Alright, we go for the third green, in case we draw only swamps for the rest of the game. Land. Perfection. Perfection. Game. Do you actually like me? Because I have feeling that Magic does not like me today with the draws. So this one is really good. This also makes sure that we get to 5 lands, and that's what we desperately needed. Alright. Thank you. So far so good. So we didn't get mana screwed. That's a big success. Alright, now we can actually think about the game. This is strange. This seems like a control, this seems like a aggro. Is this some kind of mid-range or just control deck with playing Raffine? Weird. Pretty weird. Esika's Chariot is just so tempting. But it's also very good. Let's just start with the tracker, you know? We get to draw additional card if he kills the tracker. If he doesn't, you know, we just chill. Huh. That's interesting. We could also go for this one. We can cast another tracker and force him to sweep. I like it. I do like it. Oh, storm the festival and land, really nice. Alright. How does it work? I do control quite a lot of tokens, in fact. Esika's Chariot is one of them. If he counters it, we just play the tracker. And now we attack for 4. So, the idea behind all of this. Right now, this is very bad sweep. Because the Chariot is still here. We have the tokens, like everything is awkward about this one. Enemy has 5 cards, we have 3, we need to preserve the value, so let's not give him too much. Sure. That's the first step, and I predict the Doomscar right now. But that will mean that he taps out completely, and then we storm the festival, we whiff, and we good game. That's my idea. Alright, on the serious note, it's 8 damage a turn. He needs to react to this. And we do not need to play anything else. Okay, that's 4 damage a turn. He has 4 mana. Is this the counter spell mana? His sweeper might still have negate. Let's play like this. It plays around make disappear. Okay, he really wanted it so much. You can feel it. That's a very strange deck. It seems to be control that plays bad control cards. Because those are not value-based cards. Like they are card for card. So I like playing Interceptor, but you need to have a lot of value in your deck to make this tempo play worth it. So it's great play. Of course you get ahead in the tempo game, but then you lose the value game, so you need something to buffer it. But as you can see, enemy is playing, I guess, control, and he has 2 cards, while look at ours. Like, our cards are just way better. And right now what? The situation is the same as before, but he has a 4 mana 3/1 with lifelink. So, like, you get tempo, but you don't get value from this card. What is the end game here? Maybe Hullbreaker. Hullbreaker is something that is scary. Unless enemy just has the deck that he has no idea what this deck does. I guess, you know. He just played everything and says, oh, I don't like the result. Because honestly, that's what I would think in this case. It just doesn't seem to have consistent thought behind it. Let's cut because he seems to rope right now. Alright, an enemy seems to be roping for full time for some reason. I guess he was just... I don't know. Like, everything worked as he wanted, and in the end he's just roping. I have no idea. So, do we attack? Yeah, of course we do. Of course we lose some loyalty on Lolth, but there's high chance we'll force some reaction unless he just rage quit permanently. Honestly, it feels this way. And we, I guess, are closing to the win. Like, guy had no value in the deck. He went only 1-for-1 removal and basically cards that do not grant any value. So I'm not sure if that's called control. It's definitely not really control. Wow, the ultimate value hand. 5 lands and 2 ramp. What? What? No, we cannot. It's just so bad. Alright, this one is way better. Honestly, I think we play like this. With Double Deadly Dispute, I'm sure we can find some value. We definitely will, right? Right? Alright, Innkeeper is very good because it gives you both treasure and creature. So if they kill the creature, you still have treasure to sacrifice. And that's really good. Deadly, 1 damage. Is it mono black? No, it's a Rakdos. It might be some kind of Rakdos control, I guess. The Innkeeper is the name of the game, and this is Deadly Dispute most likely. Enemy is thinking, are we playing the same deck? No, my friend, we are not. We are not. And he either didn't go for the Deadly Dispute or didn't have it. Shaman is extremely painful. Extremely painful. I guess 2 damage might count. I really don't want him to have the Shaman, but unfortunately it seems that we have to allow it. It's pretty horrible. Oh, definitely not attacking. It would be great to keep up the Innkeeper. Maybe we just get rid of the treasure? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. What can we draw? We can draw 5-drop. 4 or 5-drop, and we can play them both. We cannot play Storm the Festival. We could play Storm the Festival if we Deadly Dispute the Innkeeper. Right? Then we have 6 mana. And that's pretty good one. I think this convinced me to play like this. Like, the chance for Festival is pretty huge and we draw 3 cards. Of course we miss, but you know, the play was still good, I think. Lolth. Oh man, I really want to get rid of Kiki-Jiki.
I will show you we will slay our enemies.
That's interesting one. Let's go for Forest. So, we probably want next turn to Meathook. Because Kiki-Jiki is going here. And that's definitely not something you want. So let's go for the Tracker. And we can dispute it when we need. Drawing card is also an option, but probably not the best one. Like, we have our future turn play. So we have more mana if we don't draw card in this case. Like, Kiki-Jiki is so problematic because it's creatures but in different turns, so we need to play with this weird tempo of removing creature and sweeping the board, and then in 2 turns you need to do it again for some reason. At least we get rid of the Shaman finally. I honestly don't super care. because the board is swept, but I don't want to show the enemy that we don't care, because it's so obvious what will happen if we don't block. There's no reason to not block, really. And if he wants to how do you say it? Remove! Remove was the word. The tracker, we have this, which is perfectly fine. So we still got the full value, and I hope that he will play something more, seeing that we fight for board. That was the idea. Enjoy the card. And now, well, the Lolth is such a big problem. Like, she honestly is. That's a good land. We don't need more lands, but for a land it's good. Yeah, this will... Lolth is such a problem here. And we don't have good answers. Like, I like the live game because it gives us so much time. Hopefully enemy won't have his Meathook. But he definitely can remove ours in some way. He went for the mascot exhibition. Good choice. Long term, but good choice. He cannot play it next turn though. And let's go with, you know, the crazy one attack power that we have. Actually, Shambling Ghast is pretty decent, because it can trade with spiders if we find another creature. Yeah, this is the pain. Because this forces us to sweep the board every few turns. Enemy is really pacing his threats nicely. And now we need another Meathook Massacre. We do have Wrenn. And Wrenn is pretty good overall. However, it dies really well here. This is not perfect so far. We could go for Esika's Chariot and start trying to copy the tokens for Cardo, but it's just so slow. If we go Wrenn, we can even +1 to get more lands, but maybe we hit the festival. Can we hit the festival? Or the token would be better. Like, it would negate the Predator pretty well and threaten the Lolth. So I still think it's better. We do lose it, which is unfortunate. We can double block the spider as well, which is a bit neat. Generally with this kind of deck, you don't really want to get rid of your treasures, you want to accumulate them for the flashback on Storm the Festival. And every time we draw with the screw, we need to burn one extra treasure, which is not optimal. Man, Lolth. Lolth is such a problem. And the enemy is getting very good cards, unfortunately. How do we play it out? Like, we have options, but they are not great. We need Storm the Festival, I guess. Yeah, it can exile any card. There's no good cards in the graveyard, so that's not a problem. However, the counters and the rest is... yeah, very smart attack. Enemy is nearly tapped out, but he can still make some play, maybe. So we need to hit Meathook Massacre, but then Lolth repeats everything. That's such a big pain. And now enemy gets the Meathook, which is even a bit worse. Alright, let's start drawing our festivals, because we definitely need bindings and stuff like this. Alright, first element is here, but we cannot hit bindings for our life. And that's really bad. Let's go for green. Like, we cannot hit single Storm the Festival. This is what we want so much. Like, I can attack Lolth and reset the board. But it's probably better to go Esika's Chariot. Even though we have Sweeper, I want him to cast this if he can. Maybe it will take 2 turns, but we have good blockers, so we can block spiders. Like, if we can block spiders with the Ghast, it means that the other spiders die, then the Lolth needs to burn something. Like, you know, we have things going for us and giving some value.
Dragons are loyal
He might have another
and
Meathook,
deadly.
but then he kills his own spiders. Yep, that is a huge pain. Like, enemies having a lot of irritating cards that demand very direct and very specific answer. So that is a bit of a problem. However, oh man, not again, not again this card. So I think we have to Meathook at this point, and we are still drawing only lands. I think the game with last two land draws is just a bit too over. Like, enemy has full value and we are whiffing every turn. We cannot keep up for long like this. So we can Meathook for 5 and we have to. Do we attack with everything? Like, we cannot go wrong there. He will trade probably all of the creatures. It doesn't really change anything. Yeah, let's just Meathook. It seems as good as it will ever be. And it's unfortunate that we don't have Lair that can be activated to clear Lolth. Like, I don't love this play, it's pretty awful. Enemy mascot exhibition next turn, and we are back to square one, but Predator is just too much pressure, we need to answer it, and it has to be a minus effect. Let's make a treasure, cause why not? But yeah, game definitely not looking in our favor right now. And let's use the Hydra. So it's important that whenever you have at least 3 mana, you can crew the Chariot with it, and even copy like the treasures, things like this. So even if the Lair for some reason cannot attack, but it has to be untapped, right, for the crew effect.
A gift.
But not really coming into play. Enemy is playing very well, like he's placing the threats perfectly, and we are forced to do it. Now we get the Planewalker. Oh man, it's so late. It's so too late. So I guess our best play here is this. So we make the token. I don't think it's enough, right? And it has crew 4. So let's go for this. Can we burn enough treasures? Yes, we can. Now we crew with the Lair. And this is best we have. We of course attack Lolth, because it demands some kind of block. Normally if we attacked face, he wouldn't block and he would have another attacker. This way at least he needs to block. To be honest, he doesn't. All he needs to do is activate the Hive and attack, and that's probably something that will win him the game. And he's really smart. Like, if my friend, you are watching this game, really well played. Really well played. Very hard matchup, definitely, and we definitely didn't draw the right cards. So we have Binding for Lolth, and we have Storm the Festival to get ahead, and we had turns to go ahead. We just didn't have cards to do it. Like, we didn't hit them. Infernal Grasp. Yes, that's a good game. Let's make cheers. Because enemy deserved it.